Okay, so for today's video, we're gonna practice washing hands. This is like one thing that I've definitely slacked on. Like, we've practiced dressing, we've done some like foundational training for some potty training. Like, he'll sit on the potty. We just aren't going yet. Like, I really try to practice everything because he is behind on his language, so it's really important for him to keep up on every other department, like motor skills, everything, adaptive skills, behavior. But I mean, what kid doesn't have behaviors? Rikers aren't too crazy. But anyway, so I've totally slacked when it comes to washing hands. And so this is something that we've been practicing in ABA as well in general. This is like a goal of his. So to deal with washing hands and Ryker's behavior, I had suggested this first then visual because Ryker does really good once he understands what you're asking of him. It's just that understanding part that we have to like burst through first, so I thought maybe visuals would help him. So we did first, then, and I'm gonna really try to start to use this board a lot, so then he starts to really pair that language and start to understand what first then means. For those of you who don't, it's just like when grandma or your parents would be like, first eat your dinner, then you get a cookie. So it's like first you do the unwanted activity, the unpreferred activity, then you get your reward, or as we say in ABA, the reinforcer. Sorry, kiddos are playing. Yeah, we're about to have lunch right now, so he has to wash his hands. So this is something that he would like normally do, a normal timing. So I have this board and it's first wash hands, then Oreo. So we'll be practicing first then, and we will also be practicing washing hands. Ryker doesn't really like to wash his hands, and he really does not like to dry them. So, yeah, he actually does it better with the ABA therapist than he does with me. So those parents out there who are feeling like, why doesn't my kid do this stuff for me? Like, I'm an RBT myself, and there's things that my kid's just like, mom, nope, I know I can get away with this with you, because like I've reinforced these behaviors because he is my little baby, so like I get it. Yeah, he does a lot better with a therapist. I'll try to record a video of him doing it with a therapist as well if he's fine with that, but right now we'll do the video with us. Everything. So I already have a step stool ready. I have the soap ready. I have his towel ready. Please don't judge my bathroom. So I have everything ready to go. Because he doesn't like this activity, I don't want to pause and take any breaks. I want to make sure that everything is set up. I want to make sure I have his Oreo ready to go to give him right after he dries those hands. This just needs to be like a boom, 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 done process, because if there's a hiccup in the road, then you're increasing your chances of maladaptive behavior, or like, that's what we call it in the field, maladaptive behavior. So of them running away, crying, throwing a tantrum, hitting, whatever the possibility, maybe however your kid reacts, you know, every kid's different. So, to decrease the likelihood of him having some problem behavior, I make sure everything's ready to go, alright? Alright, so I make sure I have his attention. I'm going to say first wash hands, then we're going to have our cookie, okay? You want your cookie? Okay, let's go wash our hands. Okay, so when I gave that demand, it started a tantrum, just so you guys can see, like, he's super upset. But we're still going to try. We're still going to follow through. We took a break. He was not given the reward, was not allowed to play. He had to go lay down in the bed till he calmed down. So now I'm going to try again. Okay. Look, Ryker Donald. First, we're going to wash our hands. First, we're going to wash our hands. Then, we're going to have a cookie. Oh, nom, 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 nom. All right, he stepped up. He's turning on the water. Good. Oh, thanks for turning on the light. Good boy. Okay, get your hands wet. Sorry, I'm trying to set you guys up where you can see us and not fall down. There we go. All right, so Ryker likes to play with the water when we do this. That's where we get stuck. He turns it on by himself, gets his hands wet, turns on the light. Okay, so now we're gonna get soap. I'm gonna talk him through each step. Rub hands, rub, 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 rub. Rinse hands. Rinse, 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 rinse. Good job, Ryker. Washing hands. Okay, water off. Now I'm pointing to it with the words water off. Water off. Now I'm going to prompt it since he wasn't understanding. Which means like I'm just going to physically do it. We're going to dry hands. I know he doesn't know how, and this is something he doesn't like, so I definitely do this for him. Okay, now I'm going to remind him that first we wash hands, then we get a cookie. First wash hands, then cookie. Well, apparently he didn't want that cookie, so yeah, he's still upset. But yeah, so as you saw, I told him to turn off the water. Turn off the water, I was pointing to it. He wasn't understanding that, so I grabbed his hand and said, turn off water, and we did it together. So then he'll start to pair that language with what he's supposed to do. Okay, so as you guys saw, Ryker had like a tantrum. Well, you didn't see the full tantrum, so I cut off the video while I stopped recording. But yeah, once he saw that we were gonna wash hands, he was like, this is not gonna happen. He was like instantly upset, instantly crying, trying to throw himself on the floor. Ryker's behaviors during a tantrum is he wet noodles. So he throws himself on the floor and he hits himself in the head. So during those behaviors, this is like a great time to talk about it. It really depends on how they're acting. If he is like doing a behavior for like denied access, like he wants access to something, like I'm gonna make him like request it. Even though my child's nonverbal, there's other ways to request it. There's other ways to use communication. We can point, we can make eye contact, we can attempt sounds. Like if he wants a cookie, I can have him say "k," or I can have him learn a sign for cookie. I can have him point at the cookie. I can give him options like a cookie and an apple. Obviously he's gonna choose the cookie, but him pointing to it, that is communication, even though it's nonverbal. So if it's for attention, he's making eye contact with me, like, what are you gonna do when I smack myself in the head? Like, are you gonna come stop me? Like, I am not gonna make eye contact. I'm gonna put my hand there so he doesn't hurt himself. Most of the time he does that kind of soft, so I don't even put my hand there. I just like walk away, and he gets up and stops and runs over to me, and I'm like, oh, hey Ryker, did you need something? Like a hug? Did you need a cookie? Which is like 9 out of 10 times that's what he's like trying to get attention for, so he can request a cookie. So like whatever it is, I don't give attention to problem behaviors like crying, tantruming, all of that. I wait for him to calm down, and then I make him request things or seek out my attention in positive ways. Like, hey mom, I want a hug. Hey mom, I want tickles. Hey mom, I want to watch a movie together. Whatever it is, you know. But so back to hand washing. So for hand washing, this is something that like we struggle with. Ryker's really good at like picking up on skills. So now he knows to turn on the light, he knows to turn on the water and get his hands wet. But like most kids, he likes to play with the water and the soap. So if this becomes like we haven't been working on it for very long, but if this becomes like a thing, and we keep getting stuck there, what I am going to end up doing is making him visuals of the step-by-step of washing hands. So like little pictures. Usually you see this done in like charts, but I personally prefer to do one-by-one pictures cut out so they can only see one picture at a time, because I feel like this helps prevent them from getting stuck on a step or knowing which step is next. Because putting them all on the board, you're assuming that they have sequencing skills, that they can follow that order. Maybe they can't. Maybe they don't know which way it goes and that you move on to the next step. Don't assume that they have these skills. I like to make these things very, very basic, because the more basic it is, the more you're going to get 100% accuracy. You're going to get it done, and that's what's important, is getting it done in the first place, and then we can build from there and learn independence from there. But we can't learn independence if we can't even get started and get moving. So if he keeps getting stuck on playing with the water, because I know he loves to play with water and soap and anything, like he's like a big sensory kid. He likes to stem a lot. Yeah, so if this becomes a problem, I'll make him step-by-step visuals, and I'll show him the picture one by one as he starts to learn more of the steps. And like I said, the parts of it that are adverse to him, that he doesn't like drying his hands, I'm 100% going to do for him, because I'm just trying to get him to do it without throwing a tantrum. The fact that he let me dry his hands and he was already upset and didn't throw a tantrum, like, thumbs up. We are giving a gold star today for that. It doesn't matter that he didn't do it on his own. What matters is that he let me do it. And it's step by step with our special needs kiddos, because a lot of them are adverse to things, and it may be like confusing for us, and guess what? It's just as confusing for them. So baby steps, because you know what they say, slow and steady wins the race. Okay, we're not rushing any of things. We have plenty of time. We're all stuck in our house for weeks on ends, so my kid doesn't need to learn washing hands today, because we have 3 weeks stuck at home of washing our hands together all day, every day, several times a day. Especially with this nonsense going on, it's like the best time to really learn this skill independently. I hope you learned from my video on washing hands and a little bit about behaviors. Thank you so much. And we can talk about behaviors more if this is something that parents want to talk about. My plan is really just to focus on building skills. But I do know in order to build skills, we have to get through behaviors first. So if you need any like videos, I can do that, or just some personal like messages, recommendations, tips. Like I said, feel free to message me. Super nice, super friendly.